Hello, welcome back to High Class. My name is Leshan, and in this video, the big question is how do you handle questions on poetry? That is in KCSE English PP2 Question number 3. Now, for you to score good marks in this section, two things that you must understand clearly are the following. Number one, what are the elements that make up a poem? That is important because they translate into the questions that are usually tested in this section. And number two, you must understand how you should write your answers correctly and fully for you to score the full marks in each question. So that is what we're going to look at in this video. And here on the board, I've listed some of the elements or the areas that are usually tested under poetry. And they include number one, the title, the poet, the persona, the subject matter. We have the styles of poetic devices. We have the themes, attitude, mood, and tone, character trait. We have grammar. We have content, and we have this question that tests on meaning of words or lines as used in the poem. So we're going to look at each of them, their definition, and later on we are going to sample 3 poems so that we try and answer this question based on those 3 poems. Okay, so starting with the first one, that is the title. The title is basically the name of the poem. Okay, once the poet writes that poem, he or she gives it a heading. That heading is what we are calling the title. And the title sometimes can be directly related to the content, sometimes can be ironical, sarcastic, or symbolic. And the title usually appears before the first stanza. Before the first stanza, the title is usually there. Number 2, we have the poet. The poet is the person who writes the poem. The person who writes the poem is called the poet. And they usually appear after the last stanza by, the name usually there, by someone. The name is usually there. That is the poet. Number 3 is the persona. The persona, this is the voice speaking in the poem, the speaker in the poem. Most of the people usually confuse the poet and the persona, and these are two different things. So when the poet is writing a poem, he or she chooses a voice, a speaker that will speak on his or her behalf. Okay, now that voice that speaks in the poem is what we call the persona. Okay. Number 4, we have the subject matter. I've just written here about because the question usually states, what is the poem about? 3 marks there. So the subject matter is basically a summary of what is in the poem from stanza 1 up to the last stanza. If you can summarize the events that are happening in the poem. That gives you the subject matter. What is the poem talking about? It's like the summary of what the poem entails. That is from the stanza 1 up to the last stanza. Now, number 5 is the styles of poetic devices. These are simply the tools that the poet uses to convey meaning. How the poet uses language creatively, manipulates the language to convey the meaning. Okay, and the styles can be into 2. We have the